The Crusades, the fight for the Holy Sepulcher. Introduction. The Crusades, a series of religiously motivated military campaigns, were fundamentally driven by the desire to reclaim and protect the Holy Sepulcher in Jerusalem. This sacred site, believed to be the burial and resurrection place of Jesus Christ, held profound significance for medieval Christians. The quest for its control shaped the objectives of the Crusades, inspired generations of knights and pilgrims, and symbolized the broader struggle between Christendom and the Islamic world. This essay explores the origins, significance, and impact of the Crusades as a fight for the Holy Sepulcher, analyzing the political, religious, and cultural dimensions of this enduring conflict. The Holy Sepulcher and its religious significance. A sacred Christian site. The Church of the Holy Sepulcher, constructed in the 4th century under Emperor Constantine, was revered as the most sacred site in Christianity. The resurrection of Christ. The site marked the culmination of the Christian faith, representing the promise of eternal life. Pilgrimage destination. For centuries, Christians undertook pilgrimages to Jerusalem to venerate the Holy Sepulcher, often as acts of penance or devotion. Islamic control and Christian anxiety. The Islamic conquest of Jerusalem in 638 brought the Holy Sepulcher under Muslim rule. Initial tolerance. Early Muslim rulers, such as the Rashidun and Umayyad caliphs, allowed Christian pilgrims to visit the site. Increasing tensions. By the 11th century, under the Seljuk Turks, reports of restrictions on Christian access and mistreatment of pilgrims heightened tensions, fueling calls for action in Europe. The First Crusade. The call to reclaim the Holy Sepulcher. Pope Urban II's appeal. The First Crusade, 1096 to 1099, was launched in response to Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos' plea for help against the Seljuk Turks. However, Pope Urban II's call at the Council of Clermont in 1095 framed the campaign as a holy mission to liberate the Holy Sepulcher. Indulgences for Crusaders. Urban promised spiritual rewards, including the remission of sins, for those who took up arms to reclaim the sacred site. Pilgrimage and warfare combined. The crusade was portrayed as an armed pilgrimage, blending spiritual devotion with military action. The capture of Jerusalem, 1099. The climax of the First Crusade was the Siege of Jerusalem, where the Crusaders captured the city after a brutal assault. Massacre of inhabitants. The Crusaders killed thousands of Muslims and Jews, marking their victory with both jubilation and atrocity. Reclaiming the Holy Sepulcher. The liberation of the Holy Sepulcher was celebrated as a divine triumph, solidifying the Crusaders' sense of purpose and mission. The Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem and the defense of the Sepulcher. Establishment of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Following their victory, the Crusaders established the Kingdom of Jerusalem, with the Holy Sepulcher as its spiritual heart. Crowning of Baldwin I. The coronation of Baldwin I as king symbolized the Christian control of Jerusalem. Pilgrimage revival. The Crusaders reopened the city to Christian pilgrims, ensuring access to the Holy Sepulcher. Military and religious challenges. The Crusaders faced relentless pressure to defend the Holy Sepulcher. Muslim counterattacks. Saladin and other Muslim leaders sought to reclaim Jerusalem, culminating in the Battle of Hattin, 1187, and the subsequent recapture of the city. Religious significance. The loss of the Holy Sepulcher in 1187 was a devastating blow to Christendom, sparking the Third Crusade. The Third Crusade, a renewed fight for the Sepulcher. Richard the Lionheart and the Crusader Campaign. The Third Crusade, 1189 to 1192, was led by European monarchs, including Richard I of England, who sought to reclaim Jerusalem and the Holy Sepulcher from Saladin. Military victories. Richard achieved notable successes, such as the Siege of Acre and the Battle of Arsuf, but was unable to retake Jerusalem. Treaty of Jaffa, 1192. The treaty allowed Christian pilgrims to access the Holy Sepulcher but left the city under Muslim control. Saladin's legacy. Saladin's recapture of Jerusalem and his respectful treatment of the Holy Sepulcher earned him a lasting reputation as a chivalrous and devout leader. Preservation of the site. Saladin ensured the Holy Sepulcher remained accessible to Christians, showcasing a degree of religious tolerance. Later Crusades and the declining focus on the Sepulcher. Shift in crusading objectives. Subsequent crusades, such as the Fourth Crusade, 1202 to 1204, and the Fifth Crusade, 1217 to 1221, increasingly deviated from the original goal of reclaiming the Holy Sepulchre. Diversion to Constantinople. The Fourth Crusade's sack of Constantinople exemplified the shift toward political and economic motivations. Failure to recapture Jerusalem. Despite periodic attempts, the Crusaders never regained permanent control of the Holy Sepulchre. The fall of Acre, 1291. The fall of Acre marked the end of the Crusader states in the Holy Land, effectively ending the fight for the Holy Sepulchre as a military objective. Symbol of loss. The inability to reclaim Jerusalem became a symbol of the declining power and unity of Christendom. The Holy Sepulchre in Christian memory. Legacy of pilgrimage. The Holy Sepulchre remained a central focus of Christian devotion, even after the end of the Crusades. Continued pilgrimage. European pilgrims continued to visit Jerusalem, despite Muslim rule. Artistic and cultural impact. The Holy Sepulchre inspired the construction of churches and shrines in Europe modeled after its design. Symbol of religious unity and division. The fight for the Holy Sepulchre highlighted both the unifying power of faith and the divisions within Christendom. Unity in purpose. The Crusades demonstrated the ability of European Christians to rally around a shared spiritual goal. Schism with Byzantium. The tensions between Latin and Eastern Christianity, exacerbated by the Crusades, undermined the broader unity of Christendom. Conclusion. The Crusades were, at their core, a fight for the Holy Sepulchre, a symbol of Christian faith and identity. While the Crusaders achieved temporary victories, including the liberation of Jerusalem in 1099, their inability to maintain control of the Holy Sepulchre reflected the broader challenges of the crusading movement. The site's enduring significance. The enduring legacy of the fight for the Holy Sepulchre. The struggle for the Holy Sepulchre left a profound legacy that influenced the religious, cultural, and geopolitical landscape of the medieval world and beyond. While the Crusades ultimately failed to establish long-term Christian control over Jerusalem, their impact endured in various forms. Religious legacy. Symbolism of the Holy Sepulchre. The Holy Sepulchre remained a potent symbol of Christian faith and a focal point for religious devotion. Pilgrimage tradition. Despite the loss of Crusader control, Christian pilgrims continued to journey to Jerusalem to venerate the site. This continuity underscored the enduring spiritual significance of the Holy Sepulchre. Crusader ideals. The idea of reclaiming the Holy Sepulchre persisted in the collective imagination of Christendom, influencing later religious and political campaigns. Interfaith relations. The fight for the Holy Sepulchre reflected the broader interaction between Christianity and Islam during the Crusades. Mutual perceptions. The Crusades fostered both admiration and animosity between the two faiths, shaping interfaith relations for centuries. Religious coexistence. Periods of Muslim rule over Jerusalem, particularly under leaders like Saladin, demonstrated the possibility of coexistence, even amidst conflict. Impact on Eastern Orthodoxy. The focus on the Holy Sepulchre also affected relations between Western Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. Strained relations. The Fourth Crusade's sack of Constantinople and the Latin domination of Eastern Christian territories deepened the schism between the two branches of Christianity. Shared reverence. Despite political and theological differences, both traditions continued to revere the Holy Sepulchre as a sacred site. Cultural and artistic influence. European architecture inspired by the Holy Sepulchre. The design of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre influenced religious architecture across Europe. Rotundas and centralized plans. Churches such as the Temple Church in London and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Cambridge incorporated architectural elements inspired by the Holy Land. Symbolic replication. The replication of the Holy Sepulchre in European churches reflected the desire to bring the sanctity of Jerusalem to local communities. Literature and mythology. The Holy Sepulchre became a central theme in medieval literature and Crusader mythology. Chivalric tales. Stories of knights and their quests to protect or reclaim the Holy Sepulchre became staples of medieval romance literature. Sacred relics and legends. The association of the Holy Sepulchre with relics, such as the True Cross, inspired countless legends and fueled popular devotion. Artistic representation. Medieval art frequently depicted the Holy Sepulchre and Crusader imagery. Religious manuscripts. Illuminated manuscripts often included illustrations of Jerusalem and the Holy Sepulchre, emphasizing its importance in Christian theology. Stained glass and sculpture. European churches adorned their interiors with scenes from the Crusades, celebrating the Holy Sepulchre as a symbol of Christian triumph. Geopolitical and military impact. The rise of military orders. The defense of the Holy Sepulchre played a key role in the formation of military orders such as the Knights Templar, Knights Hospitaller, and Teutonic Knights, custodians of the faith.